Guitar practice session 9/27/24. These are fairly sloppy practice sessions where I practice whatever I think I need to be working on, then provide a recap so you get an idea of what you're getting into. This, of course, being that recap, hoping the practice sessions provide me with a routine, helping me to verbalize what I'm trying to learn, which hopefully helps to get it in my head better, possibly provides information for others that are working on similar types of things, possibly also providing for feedback if anybody sees a better way to do the things that I am doing here. This will be our worksheet. I'm going to try to provide the worksheet, so if you want to do your own practice sessions, I really think it's a good way to try to learn things, to try to verbalize them, even if no one's listening to it. So if you want to use these, don't worry about the plagiarism. You can alter them or do whatever you want with them and make your own practice sessions if you want, or whatever you want to do with them. They're going to be set up a little bit differently than possibly some other worksheets you've worked with. One, they're of course in Excel, but also I try to get everything going the same way. So I have the top string on top. This is the low or heavy string, as though it's similar to me sitting behind the guitar, where I have the top or low heavy string, the one closest to the ceiling, on top to bottom. And I'm also going to turn my guitar around on the screen so it looks like I'm left-handed, so that I can try to line up where my hand is in to actually the worksheet here, so you can better position where you are playing or try to match what is being played there, and it'll match what you have in your hands as well, hopefully, is the idea. So this time we're going to go over the major scale, and we're going to be doing it in what I would call position number 3, which you might also call the Dorian position, or you might call it from the caged system like a D position. We'll go over some of those naming conventions to get an idea of them, so we can communicate them to others, as well as just get a better feel or different perspective on how we might name the guitar and why those shapes might be named that way. And when we go through the major scale, remember that I'm going to be numbering the modes based on the major scale, which in this case, of course, lines up perfectly to the relative positions over here. So you've got 1 through 7. The modes will be labeled 1 through 7. The numbering system here giving us an idea of whether the mode is a major or minor mode, with the uppercase and lowercase Roman numerals, which also helps us to determine whether, if we were playing a song in this key, we should be playing a major or minor chord for that particular note in the song. And then when we move to the other modes, as we've seen in the past, we'll have the same relative positions. The notes will change relative as we move through the modes, but I'm going to keep the numbering system for the modes the same, and I think that'll be helpful to orientate us. So we keep doing that. Also, we're going to look at the major scale, which is really important to understand the intervals. We basically want to memorize the intervals for the major scale, because then we can compare that to all other scales, in particular to the other major modes, which is going to be the Mixolydian mode and the Lydian mode, which are the 4 and 5, 4th and 5th of the relative positions, which I'm going to call absolute mode numbers 4 and 5. All right, and so then we're going to go into this shape over here. We'll talk about breaking out the shape in multiple different ways within this shape. I have my house versus double stop analogy, and then my hamburger barbell analogy, breaking out this shape into, if you think about the guitar as a 5-string instrument plus an added, repeat string, then we'll break out this shape into a 2-string, 1-string grouping, and then a 3-string, 2-string grouping. And we'll also try to talk as we go through the intervals about where each of these modes fit in those string groupings, so we can visualize that. And we'll talk about the pentatonic versus the major scale, and how you might structure and visualize the pentatonic in the major scale. So I go up and down on the modes on each interval, and then I go around the horn on each interval and practice our intervals that way. And then after that, I'd kind of noodle around. I tried to mess around with a couple songs like Take It Easy and I guess Hallelujah, because my idea was that I was going to kind of play around with playing them in open position and then try to play them in a different position to convert them, which is, I think, useful to be playing with, because these songs sound really nice in open position. They're made for like the open position basically, but the open positions are hard. When I sing over it, I'm not an expert at this. I'm just kind of playing around with this, right? So, but when I sing over something, it's hard to sing over the open chord. So you can practice muting with your palm to mute the guitar a little bit. I've seen some people actually use those sound hole covers that I don't think that's the purpose for it, but if you put the sound hole cover over it, I think they use that they're meant for electric guitars, but it actually mutes the sound a little bit so that it might be easier to sing over if you had the muted guitar, you use the palm muting when you're playing. But I also feel like if you're able to convert those open chords to other chords, then because you're not playing the open strings, you have a lot more control with your fingers to mute the strings, not only with your palm, but with your actual fretting hand. And it's also, you can get it, and obviously it's a different sound as well. So if you're playing through a song and you know the song pretty well, it can be kind of fun to try to play it in a different position, and that'll give you a different feel for the song. And obviously when you play it in open position, when we play chords in guitars, we don't really think too much about inversions and whatnot because we're just trying to get the chord out. But obviously open positions will have a different, ordering of the notes, the 3 notes in each chord, as to when we play it up the neck using, bar chords or, other kind of shapes up the neck. So that's what I was thinking to do, but obviously I hadn't played these songs. I'm not great at the rhythm, as been pointed. I'm not great at like the rhythm and stuff. I don't practice that all the time or to practice playing the songs all the time. So it took me a while just to remember these particular songs, just to noodle them around in open position. But I finally got to playing like I tried to play both of them. I think I played like Take It Easy, and then I played Hallelujah. I tried to play it up here, up in the neck, just to get that's just what I was noodling around with. Practice session. That's what I did. Continuing on to what I would call shape number 3, looking at mode number 1, that being the Ionian mode. Remembering that I'm going to be assigning what I call absolute mode numbers based on the Ionian mode or the major scale. Therefore, when we're looking here at the major scale or Ionian mode, on the left, we have our relative positions. The relative positions, or the notes of the relative positions, will change as we move through the different modes. But the modes that we will assign will have the same name to the notes as we go through the relative modes. And I'm going to keep the numbers the same as they relate to the major scale. So it's important, therefore, as we go through the major scale, that's kind of our key in Western music. That's kind of our focal point, similar to like in physics, where we say that every point is not special, right? You can measure anything from any particular point. It's all relative. But in order for us to orientate ourselves, we have to pick a point and start measuring from there. The modes are similar in that they're all kind of grouped together. They're all connected. They're kind of like a fractal type of situation. You can derive one mode from any other mode. However, it's useful for us to pick a mode, and the one being picked in Western music is usually the major scale or Ionian mode as our focal point, as our key, as our Rosetta Stone that we can basically tie everything else to. So therefore, it's really important to be thinking of the major scale and thinking this is the positions 1 through 7, the relative positions, and the modes are going to be named 1 through 7 related to it, and then we can assign the mode numbers. Remembering with the major scale, it's also useful to think of where the major and minor modes are at. So it goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then diminished. So it's a lot easier for us to kind of think of that pattern as it relates to a particular mode like the major scale. When we go to the Dorian, you could then think of these positions or the relative modes relative to the major scale, and it'll be a little bit easier to think of which modes are minor and which are the major modes. So as we do this, we're also going to be looking at the intervals, of course, and the intervals for the major scale are going to be the most important intervals because, once again, in Western music, they basically named the intervals, it looks to me, after the major scale, and then all of the other scales are kind of compared to it. And we can break that down a little bit further by saying we have major modes and minor modes. And so we want to know the main major by heart and then the main minor by heart, which is the Aeolian, and then compare the other related modes, which are major and minors, to them. And those distinctions, whether they be major and minor, depend on the third, meaning minor modes have a minor third, major modes have a major third within it. And then each mode will only have one interval that is different from its relative major or minor. So the major modes are pretty easy because they were constructed after the major scale, in that they're either going to be major or they're going to be perfect. If they're perfect, you can imagine that they're going to be the same interval on the major and the minor typically. Okay, so we have the perfect first. We have the 2-note away, which I call 2 notes away. That's the number of notes away as we look at distance-wise, and we call it, therefore, a major second. And then we have a 4-note away, major third. We have a 5-note away, perfect fourth. We have a 7-note away, perfect fifth, a 9-note away, major sixth, and an 11-note away, major seven. All right, then we're going to be looking at this shape. We're breaking up the guitar into chunks of 5, which is really what the guitar's probably designed to do. That's why they put 5 notes in between the strings, so that you can play basically 4 to 5 notes on a fret and then move up to the next fret. So it makes sense then to break the guitar into chunks of 4 to 5 because we have 4 to 5 fingers. So very natural thing to do. Basically everybody does it. These are common, breakouts of the guitar. We can name these shapes, which becomes a little bit more difficult because it's kind of the naming conventions will change. So a lot of people use the generic convention of this being shape number 1, because that's often the first shape that people often use, and shape number 2, and then that would make this shape number 3. I'm just looking at the pentatonic right now, but the whole shape is there too. That would make this shape number 3. So that's one way to do it. I learn it that way. I think it's useful because it's kind of a generic way to learn the shapes, and it's not too confusing because it doesn't tie in, but it doesn't give you any added insights. It's just kind of like, that's just what I call the shapes, right? Whereas if I was to call it, say, the Dorian shape, which is another way that you can name it, we're not going to be playing on the Dorian. We're going to be playing the relative major. Let me move these down here. But you could call it a Dorian shape because if you started from the first note in the shape, it would be Dorian. And a lot of people don't really explain that when they call it a Dorian shape, right? That's because if I started from any other place, we're going to be starting from the C here, meaning I'm going to use this same shape and play the major scale within it. But if I started from the top note or made that my focal point, that is when it would be, a Dorian. Now, other people would use the caged system to name the shape, which is based on the open shapes over here. So we have our open shapes, and to do that, we would have to find the relative major within the shape, which is, of course, what we're happen to be looking at in this case. So it's easier to do if you're playing in the major scale. Otherwise, you have to find and think about what the relative major is, because that's the thing that you're naming the shape after. In other words, there's my C. If I was to build a chord on the C, it would look like that. And you can see if I played it up here, it would be like the D, that little D shape. So this would be playing a C chord, but it's using that little D shape. And therefore, you could name the whole shape a D shape, remembering that this kind of bar chord shape, this open position D shape, playing the C chord, is unique to a 5-note pentatonic, meaning if I break this out into 5, it's unique to the 5-note out of 7 pentatonic, but it's not unique to the 7 notes. So that's why if you're thinking in terms of the cage system, it's useful to think of the 3 notes, and then on top of that, so I name the shape based on the 3 notes here. On top of that, I build the 5-note pentatonic, and then on top of that, I add the 2 extra notes to get to the 7-note major or whatever scale that I'm thinking about being in. So that leads us to then thinking about within each shape, how can I break the shape down into further chunks so that I can start visualizing it more tightly than this. It's still like a lot of information to try to remember this whole shape as like some big conglomerate. So the ways I've seen people break this out is remember that the guitar is like a 5-string instrument plus an added E. So you can kind of think about it as 5 strings. So you can break the strings out into chunks of 2, 2, 1, 2 strings, 1 string, to try to group them together in reasonable chunks that are memorizable, but that's not too big. Or you can try to group it together into 3 string, 2 string chunks. Those are the 2 common ways that I've seen people start to chunk out the interval. So if I think about it in a 2, 2, 1 grouping, we have this box, which is useful because you can see that all over the fretboard. And then you've got then this double stop box. So you got the box, double stop, and the double stop box. That's because if you look at this box and go behind it, you're going to end up with a double stop. And if you go in front of it, you're going to end up with a double stop. So if you look at one shape, you end up with a double stop box and a box double stop. And then you end up with this 2 note per string flat or meat of the hamburger. That's going to be my house analogy, because I'm going to imagine this is a house. And then we can also then think about where would the pentatonic 5 notes be within here, and how can I convert the 5 note pentatonic to a 7 note scale. So for example, if I paste this over here, and I'm going to paste this on my, this is what I would call the barbell. I'll get into that later. But so if I look at this shape then, and I try to convert it into the pentatonic, we're only going to be playing in this box. We're going to be playing the top right of the box, boom, boom. And then we're going to be playing the bottom left of the box, boom, boom. And we're only going to be playing the outer edges of the shape. So on the box double stop shape, we play the inside of the box to the outside of the shape, and then we play the outside of the box to the outside of the shape. That would be converting these 2 strings into a pentatonic versus a 7 note scale. And then when we go to this shape, now we're playing once again the start of the shape and then the outside of the box, just like we were before, and then we go into the inside of the box shape. So I'm not used to kind of thinking about it like that, but I think that's a useful way to visualize it. I think most people, when they do the pentatonic, they think of a 3 string, 2 string breakout. So that means they're going to start visualizing this, and that means you're going to hear a lot of people when they improvise and stuff that they're seeing that hamburger, that stack, which is great. You can do like an infinite number of things with that, but you can also, but if you visualize it a different way, this way, then you'll probably end up doing different things, right? Because if I visualize it as a 3 notes per string hamburger stack thing, I'm always going to be, that's going to be where my mind goes. If I can also visualize it as this shape, then I'm going to start to group these 2 strings together instead of always grouping these 3 strings together. Just naturally, that's probably what's going to happen if you start trying to improvise, at least in my experience. So then this is going to be the hamburger, and this is the barbell. So this is how most people break out the pentatonic, I would think. And so the hamburger looks like this. It's only 5 notes. If you want to add the other 2 notes, then we add what I would call putting a hat on the hamburger. You're putting a cap on it, and you have the visor going to the left. And in order to support that added weight, you're also going to put a little bit of on the base here to end up the base. And then the barbell, which looks like this, if it wasn't for the kink in the tuning, the earthquake, the fault line, would have the only playing the ends of the barbell would be the what you would do for a pentatonic, and then you have to add those internotes in order to convert it to the full 7 notes. All right, so that's going to be the idea, and so let's just go through these ones. And so we're going to say, first of all, if I'm on a D and I know this is Dorian, then how do I know? How can I get to the C? I'm like, okay, I'm in a Dorian shape. So how do I get to the C, which is going to be where I want to be for an Ionian or major shape? Well, I know that the Dorian is the second, and I want to get back to the first. So I could go like backwards behind it, right? To go back, right? I could go from the Dorian back, right? Or I can count up until I get to 8 within the shape. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on, I started at 1. I have to start at 2. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, there we go. There's the C. That's one way we can get there. Another way we can get there is we could just visualize the shape and again see where the box is. I could see my box right there. It's always at the top right of the box. That's what I call the penthouse of the house analogy. And if you look at it in terms of the hamburger, the major mode is always at the bottom left bun of the hamburger. So you could visualize it shape-wise, and you might say, okay, there's my shape, there's my hamburger, there's the bottom left bun of the hamburger. That must be the major mode. All right, and now I'm going to play up this mode. Now, the other thing that's useful to do is to say, okay, what if I thought about this string as though it was the top string? This helps me to kind of see it different ways too. Like if I was playing it up here as the top string, then what shape would that be? Because here's my C over here. That would be what I would call shape number 2, right? It would be shape number 2, which is your, or in terms of a bar chord shape, you might call that your E major shape because it looks like this. Boom, if it was back here. You could also call it, I would call it just the major shape, but notice the major shape starts on the second note. So I might call it like the second note major shape, because this shape, if you defined it by the first note like we did with this one, the Dorian, then it would be like the Locrian shape, which no one really plays the Locrian shape. So everybody kind of just knows it, I think, as the major shape or the bar chord shape, right? Or the E shape, E major shape from a pentatonic perspective. But in any case, so then if I play that shape, I can see my box here. So I'm at the top right of the box. So I go da, 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 da. And so it's like, okay, if I that same thing would happen down here, because that same shape is right here. And all I'm doing is going an octave. So now there's the octave going from this C to this C. And then I can kind of imagine this. Well, this would just be like I was playing position number 2, as though this was the top string, except there's a fault line, an earthquake that happened here pushing this bit up. So that's just another way to kind of visualize it, to see how all this stuff kind of ties together. We could say, oh, well, this is just like playing on position 2 here, starting from the top, but I have to deal with the fault line. Okay, so if we were down here, we would be going, it would just be going, well, let's do it this way. I'd be at the top. We start off at the top of the house double stop. We go boom, boom. You can also call it the bottom of the hamburger. And then we go to the bottom, doop, 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 of what I'm calling the house double stop, or you can call it the top of the barbell. And then we have to shift up because of the earthquake, the fault line, meaning we have to step up the invisible curb to go up here. And so now we're in what I would call the double stop box shape, which you can also call the bottom of the barbell. And then we go down, and then we're at the end of it. So the roots are at the bottom of the hamburger and the bottom right of the barbell, or in terms of our boxes, it's always at the top left of the box or house. Okay, so if I numbered that, then we'd say, okay, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's our octave. The octave is a little bit higher than we normally would think because of the kink in the tuning right there because of the fault line. All right, let's go through I'm just going to go through our things here, and I'm going to try to keep going back to our multiple analogies, which I know is confusing, but I'm trying to do everything at one time to get it all in my mind, seeing it multiple different ways at one time. All right, So we're going to go from the first to the second of the major scale. We know that the second of a major scale is a 2-note away major second. So it's a 2-note away major second, and the inverse of that would be 12 minus 2, which would be a 10-note away minor 7. So if I see that shape from here to here, 2 notes away, that's a major second, or a whole step going backwards, therefore 10-note away minor 7. How do I know that? Because if I went from this D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I get to C, so it goes in a circle, and so you can go one way or the other way. And then we also note that the second of the major scale, or Ionian mode, is what I'm going to call absolute mode number 2, the second. So all the mode numbers, of course, are going to line up to the relative positions here, because the modes are going to be named off those positions. But when I go up to the Dorian, I'm going to keep the mode numbers the same as they relate to the major scale, which I think is going to help to orientate us, which might be a little bit difficult than what you've seen other people doing, but I think it'll help, again, ground us in terms of what chords we're playing and so on when we go to different modes. All right, so then we're going to go to, and by the way, where does the Dorian live in our shape? The Dorian, when we think about the house double stop, it's not in the house because this is the major house. The only minor in the major house is the Phrygian that's in the basement over here. And then, so it's over here hanging with the double stop at the top above the Mixolydian, and then it moves over here when we have the double stop box to the bottom under the main minor mode Aeolian. Okay, in terms of the hamburger analogy, it's always, the Dorian encompasses the hamburger. So it's at the top left bun and then the top and the bottom right bun of the hamburger. That's where the Dorian is at. All right, let's go to the third. So the third of the major mode is boom, boom. And the third defines the mode, and it's a major mode because it's the main major scale. It's going to be a 4-note away, therefore major third. So whenever I see that shape, that's a major third, 4-note away major third, unless of course we're going across the fault line. So, so the inverse of that is 12 minus 4, which is an 8-note away minor 6. So therefore, whenever I see that shape, and how can I prove that, by the way, because I can count down, this would be 5, 4, right? So that's 4, and then 12 minus 4 is 8. So if I see that shape from top to bottom, that's going to be a 4-note away major third, bottom to top, 8-note away minor 6. And we know that the third of course, the Ionian is going to be the absolute mode number 3, which is the Phrygian mode. The Phrygian mode is a minor mode, noting that these modes do tie into whether you play a minor or a major, because this also tells you if we're playing, if we were just to play normal 3-note triads, then the question is always going to be, well, which triads do I play? Do I play a major or a minor? And the modes kind of tell you that, right? So it's going to be, so if it's a minor mode, it's going to have a minor triad in it. If you extend it beyond that triad, then there's going to be differences in the different modes. So, but, you know, that's why you're going to have the minor triad right here. So the Phrygian, the third of a major scale, is going to be a minor chord that you would play. And of course, also therefore, because it has the minor third, it is a minor mode known as the Phrygian mode. Where does the Phrygian mode live? It lives in the house analogy. It's in the basement, bottom left, not looking at the ocean up here, but looking back towards the utility plant at the back. And if you look at it in terms of our hamburger barbell analogy, it's in the, and you can see it easier over here because there's no kink in the tuning. It's at the top left of the barbell, the left side of the barbells being the minor side of the barbells, where you've got the heaviest minor because it has no major intervals in it. And then you've got the main minor, and the right side of the barbell has the two most popular major modes, Mixolydian and of course the major mode. Also note that if you try to convert this to a pentatonic scale, then if I look at the house double stop analogy, then this Phrygian would still be in it. So with the box, we always start, if you're doing the pentatonic, we always start inside of the box to the outside, to the next note, and then we go to the outside of the box and we skip the middle note on the box. So we only play those two corners of the box in a pentatonic, and then we go to the outside. In terms of the hamburger barbell analogy, the Phrygian is going to be played in the barbell, and with the barbell we always play the outer notes if it was a pentatonic, and the inter notes would then be added if you want to play all 7 notes of the major scale. Okay, whew, man, that's a lot to say. Let's go to the fourth. So we're going to go to the fourth, and this is going to be the fourth of a major, is, as you would think, a 5-note away perfect fourth. How do we know that? Because from here to here is 5 notes away, perfect fourth. Inverse 12 minus 5, which is a 7-note away perfect fifth. The perfects are inverts of each other. So whenever I see them stacked on each other like that, top to bottom, the way we normally would think about it, is a 5-note away perfect fourth. And therefore, if I go from bottom to top, it's going to be a 7-note away perfect fifth. The fourth of mode number 1 major scale is going to be the fourth mode, which is a major mode given by the uppercase Roman numeral, which is the Lydian mode. Where does the Lydian mode live? In the house analogy, it's in C major's house, the penthouse, but it's at the bottom floor, still looking towards the ocean. It's not played if I was to convert this shape to a pentatonic, because you only play the top. You start on the inside of the box, and then you play the outside of the box, right? If I look at the hamburger and barbell analogy, it's on the inside of the barbell, which you can more easily see over here because you don't have the fault line. So it's on the inside where your hands would go if you imagine this a barbell that you're picking up, which would be in the middle here, but you can't do that with 2 squares, so these kind of average out, I imagine, to the middle, right? So you have this bit that would be that would be on the inside that you'd only play if you're playing the 7 notes and not the 5-note pentatonic. All right, let's go to the next one, the fifth. Let's go to the fifth. The fifth is going to be here. That's going to be a fifth of a major scale is a 7-note away perfect fifth. How do I know that? Because I can count from here. That'd be 5, 6, 7. And inverse 12 minus 7 is 5. That'd be a 5-note away perfect fourth. Therefore, whenever I see this shape, that looks like a power chord. And it makes you just want to do all downstrokes. And like even though it doesn't sound good way up here, you're supposed to do that on the, but I mean, that's just what you end up doing. So then that's going to be a 7-note away perfect fourth. The inverse of that, bottom to top, is a 5-note away perfect fifth. Is a 5-note. Okay, this is a 7-note away perfect fifth, going from here to here. I got excited with the power chord. The inverse, therefore, is a 5-note away perfect fourth. Okay. And the fifth of mode number 1 Ionian or major scale is, of course, mode number 5, the Mixolydian mode, kind of like the bluesy mode, probably the second most popular mode, even if people don't know they're playing Mixolydian because they play it, you know, we kind of do that when we do the bluesy things, which is quite popular. So where is it located? Well, it's not in the major house here because it's Mixolydian and it has that flat 7, so it hangs out more with the minors. So it's over here on the double stop in that analogy, hanging out with the Dorian, and then it's in the meat of the hamburger or the flat up here. The meat of the hamburger or the flat being the same shape, whether we use the house analogy or the hamburger barbell analogy. And if we look at the barbell, it's on the right side of the barbell. It is played, if we were to play a 5-note pentatonic shape, it would still be included, because when we think about the barbell, we always play the outer shapes for the pentatonic, so it would be included there. And when we think about the box double stop, we play the inside of the box and then the outside of the box, so it would be you can think about it that way in terms of the pentatonic. It would be included there. All right, so let's go, and then let's go to the next one. The 6th of the major scale is a 9-note away major 6. Now here we get kind of wonky because here's where the fault line is. So that means I'm going down here, which looks like it would be, just shape-wise, that should look like a 10-note away, 10-note away minor 7. But no, because of the fault line. So it looks like this. You count it up, it would be 5, and then 10 would be up here instead of back here. So 10, and then so that's 9. So it's only 9 notes away, which is a major 6. The inverse would be 12 minus 9, which would be a 3-note away minor 3rd. So if I see that shape, I'm looking at it down here, and I have to augment my mind and say, okay, that's not a 10-note away. It's only 9 notes away, and therefore it's not a minor 7. It's going to be a major 6. And then if I invert it, it's going to be a 3-note away minor 3rd, noting that the majors and minors are inverts of each other. We also know that the 6th of mode number 1 Ionian major scale is, of course, the 6th mode, otherwise known as the main minor, the Aeolian. Where does the main minor live? Well, in the house analogy, it's not in C's house. It's hanging over here with the double stop part of the double stop box, and it's at the top floor, and then it hangs over here in the flat or meat of the hamburger with the mixolydian. And in terms of the hamburger barbell analogy, it's at the left side of the barbell. So you can see it's over here. It's in the barbell. It would be played with a pentatonic. It's not one that we would skip. So if we thought about the pentatonic from the house analogy, we play the inside of the square to the outside of the square, and then we play the next shape, which goes from the double stop, which is always played, to the outside of the square. So we're always playing the top right of the square, and then we go to this one, and then the inside of the square. In terms of the barbell, if we only played 5 notes, we'd be playing, you know, we'd be playing the hamburger here to the outsides of the barbell, to the outsides of the barbell. Okay, so let's go to the 7. You're doing too many things at one time. You're biting off more than you can chew, man. I can chew it. I can chew it. I just need to practice. And then we're gonna go. Then what was I on here? We're gonna go to the B. So that's gonna be up here. Okay, so this is gonna be the 7th of the major is an 11-note away major 7. 11-note away major 7. Now again, it looks kind of funny because of the kink in the tuning, so we have to be careful of that. But I can count that up by saying it's going to be 5, and then the kinks up here 10 to here, and then 11. 11-note away major 7. The inverse of that is 12 minus 11, which is 1. 1-note away minor 2nd. So if I play that from top to bottom, 11-note away major 7 from bottom to top. It's going to be a 1-note away minor 2nd. Hopefully I said that right. And then we're going to go boom. Then we're back to the octave. Back to the octave here, which looks like a little bit wonky because of the kink in the tuning. So I'm hoping I had my fingers right there. It was like here, and then we're at the octave, which is right there. So hopefully I got that. Hopefully I got that correct. All right, we'll go back the other way if not, and think it over again. But first, an attempt at a joke. So, you know, I've been told I don't use alternative picking enough. I got this in the comments, by the way, and I'm just joking here. Comments are welcome. Obviously, our comment section is a desolate and lonely place, so comments are useful. So I'm just joking here. So in any case, I've been told I don't use alternative picking enough, which is ridiculous. I do alternative picking all the time, constantly altering from picking the guitar to picking my nose and back. Always alternating my picking. And I can prove it too. You see right there? You see right there? That's a booger on the guitar. There's a booger right there on the guitar. Where do you think that came from? Came from alternative picking. That's where it came from. Came from alternative picking. Tell me I don't do alternative picking. I have proof. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm just joking. By the way, like I say, any comments, any comments and advice are useful, unless unless you're, pretty much any comment useful in the comment section. So feel free to leave those there. It's a lonely place at the moment, but that's okay too. It's nice, quiet, calm blue ocean, but whatever. So let's go back the other way. So now we're gonna go here, back the other way. So now we'll measure from this C. So that means so now we're gonna go backwards. So if I was on the 1 or 8 and I go back then to the 7, we know that the 7 is, because it's a major, it should be an 11 note away major 7. How do I know that? Because the distance between these two going from B to C is 1. That would be a 1 note away minor second. And the inverse therefore is 12 minus 1, which is 11 notes away. So whenever I see that, if I'm usually going this way from left to right, and that would be a 1 note away minor second. But that means that if I go the other way from C to B, that's an 11 note away major 7. So let's go back then to this one. We're going to the 6th. So let's go back to the 6th. And that the 6th of a major scale is a 9 note away major 6. How do I know that? Because there's 3 notes in between. So if I see that interval, that's going to be a 3 note away minor third. 12 minus 3 is 12 minus 3 is 9. So if I go from the C to the A, therefore 9 note away major 6. By the way, I do want to point out that the comment that I was looking at was helpful. A lot of interesting information that I could practice, right, which is going to include like ear training. I think is quite useful. Rhythm and stuff like that is stuff that I haven't played as much with a metronome. My background normally has just been using the guitar kind of as a almost like a tension release mechanism between working. So I have it next to my desk and I play things, and oftentimes I just want to kind of noodle around when I'm using it in that case. So I haven't spent a lot of time with like a metronome, which I could spend more time with that. That would be an interesting exercise, and I would like it into the different key signatures and rhythm and stuff like that. So just one thing at a time. I started getting more heavily into, of course, the intervals here, which I had a general idea of, but hadn't really analyzed more deeply, and it's a lot more confused. If you get into the modes and stuff that I'm looking at here, that's kind of what I've dived into at this point. So there's clearly many other areas where I'm lacking, and I might focus on those things later. But right now, I'm gonna keep on messing with this. This is just kind of what I'm into at the moment, and so yeah. But yeah, I might get into more rhythms and stuff later. Any case, let's go back to then the 5th, which is going to be back here. So so now we're going to say this is going to be the 5th. So this is going to be boom boom, and that the 5th of the major is a 7 note away perfect 5th. How do I know that? Because the distance between here to here from G to C is 5 notes. That'd be a 5 note away perfect 4th. Now it looks like it's not a 5. You would think that it would be like 6 notes away, a flat 5th, but because the kink in the tuning. So a perfect 4th, you'll remember, if I measure from top to bottom, usually it's right on top of each other. But because we have the earthquake or fault line right here, it's shifted up. So I have to kind of, it's going to mess us up all the way through and say, oh, okay, so that means that if I go from top to bottom, that's going to be a 5 note away perfect 4th, and therefore 12 minus 5 is 7. So from bottom to top is a 7 note away perfect 5th. And so then let's go back to the last one, and we're going to go to the fourth. And so from here to here is going to be the fourth of a major is a 5-note away perfect fourth. How do I know that? Once again, there's a kink in the tuning here, because if I went from F to C, normally, well, I can say this is 5, 6, 7. Normally it would be 8, an 8-note away, which would be what, a minor 6, but it's only 7 because of the kink in the tuning. And so that shape then going from F to C is a 7-note away perfect fifth, and therefore the inverse going from C to F is a 5-note away perfect fourth. All right, let's go back then to the prior one. We're going to go to the third. So the third is going to be here. So this is going to be the third of a major scale is a 4-note away major third. How do I know that? Well, if I count from E up, it would be 5, 6, 7, 8. You would think it would be 9, right? Normally, but now it's 8 because of the kink in the tuning. That would be an 8-note away minor 6 if I played it this way. Therefore, the inverse would be a 4-note away major third. And then let's go to the second. The second is going to be here, and so that's going to be so that's going to be a 2-note away major second. How do I know that? Because if I count it up, it would be 5, and then the kink of the tunings here, there's 10. So going this way, it's going to be a 10-note away, which would be a minor 7. So from boom, boom, that'd be a 10-note away minor 7 inverse, therefore 2-note away major second. And that gets us back to then the interval. All right, let's try to go around this way. I'm kind of getting tired here, but I kind of want to go around the horn up to here. So let's try to do that a little bit more quickly. So now I'm going to go from this C around. So if I go, this is at the double stop box, and then we go to the bottom of the double stop box, or the bottom of the bar to the top of the hamburger, and then it repeats. So now if you think about it as a double stop house, you have the bottom of the double stop house, or think about it as the hamburger, the top of the hamburger repeats, and then we go to the 2-note per string flat or meat of the hamburger, and then we're going to end off down here at the house double stop or the bottom of the hamburger. So if I was to play that out then and count it out, it's a little wonky because of that repeated string, right? And we're going to go up an octave, which is a little weird too, but it's a useful exercise, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that repeats up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it repeats 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so let's do our octave. Let's do our intervals counting from this C. So if I go to the first here, so remember that there's no fault line between these two strings. The fault line will be between these two strings. So these two strings shifted up in the earthquake together, the relationship between them remains the same. So this is just the normal relationship. Pinky to pointer is a 2-note away, and therefore major second. I can count that up by saying this is 5, 4, 3, 2. So this is going to be top to bottom, 2-note away major second, inverse, therefore 12 minus 2, 10-note away minor 7. So then we're going to go then to this one. This is going to be here. So that's going to be the third, which is going to be I'm going to call it, the third is the defining characteristic. So it's a 4-note away major third, because obviously it's a major scale. And so and I can count that, of course, because it would be down 1, 5, back 4. And so boom, boom, 4-note away major third. That's the standard shape. I want a C for a major third. Inverse, therefore 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 note away minor 6. And then if I go to the next one, we're looking at the fourth. This is the standard perfect fourth pattern where you have them stacked on each other, on top of each other. And that's going to be a 5 note away perfect fourth. I can tell because there's 5 notes between the strings, so top to bottom, 5 note away perfect fourth. The inverse, therefore, is 12 minus 5, or 7 note away perfect fifth. 7 note away perfect fifth. And that repeats then up top. We're going to go up here, and it's going to repeat. So let's go back to that D, the second, and I'm going to compare it not to this one. I could compare it here, but I'm going to try to compare it down here and imagine what that shape would be if I was going all the way from the top to there, right? A couple ways we can count it. I could say, why would I count it from here? I could count it from here to here, but I'm going to count it all the way up, right? So I know that's going to be a second, which is going to be a 2 note away major second. But if I count it from the D like I normally would, it would be 5 and then 10. So I can see there it would be a 10 note away, which would be a 10 note away minor 7. But if I count it all the way up, it would be 5, 10, 15, and then 20 with the kink in the tuning, 21, 22. 22 minus 12 notes is 10. Therefore, if I look at that interval, I can start to try to memorize these longer intervals, these stretchier ones, and say from here to here, measuring from the D is a 10 note away minor 7, and therefore 12 minus 10 from bottom to top would be a 2 note away major second. And then if I go to the third, we're going to say, all right, the third from here to here is going to be and that's going to be a third, which is a 4 note away major third. How do I know that? Well, I could compare it to this C, which would be 5, 10, 9, 8. So if I went from the E, it would be an 8 note away, minor 6. If I went to this C, 5, 10, 15, 20. Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20. And that would be yeah, that's right. And then 20 minus 12, which would be 8. So that would be, so looking at that shape, then from the top would be an 8 note away minor 6. Inverse, therefore, 12 minus 8 would be a 4 note away major third. And then we can go to the fourth. So we go to the fourth. Boom, out here. So what is that shape going from like here to here? How can I play that most easily? So what is that going to be? Well, it's a fourth. That means it's going to be a 5 note away perfect fourth. How do I count that? I could measure from the F, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7. So if I went to this C, you can see it's a 7 note away perfect fifth. If I count it down to the C down there, it's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, because of the kink in the tuning, 19. 19 minus 12 is basically 9 minus 2, 9, 8, 7. Therefore, that's a 7 note away perfect fifth. So if I play this, if I see that interval, I want to start to see it as a 7 note away perfect fifth, which is useful because if you play the bar chord there, you will be playing that fifth, right? It's a 7 note away perfect fifth from that note. And the inverse, therefore, 12 minus 7, 5 note away perfect fourth. So then we're going to go from the fifth to the sixth to perfect fourth to the fifth. Now I'm on to the fifth. So now we're going to that fifth, which is the G, boom, and that's going to be the fifth. And so what is that? Well, I know it's a 7 note away perfect fifth. How do I know? Well, I can count to this one, the right one underneath it, which would be a 5 note away perfect fourth. I can also keep going, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. 17 minus 12 is 7 minus 2, 7, 6, 5. That would be a 5 note away perfect fourth. So if I see this shape, that's a 5 note away perfect fourth, and therefore the inverse is a 7 note away perfect fifth. All right, and then we'll go to the next one, and we're gonna say that the sixth is here, and that's going to be a 9-note away major 6. How do I know that? Well, I could say this is 5, 4, 3. That would be a 3-note away minor third, or I could say 5, 10, 15. 15 minus 12 is basically 5 minus 2, which is 3. That would be a 3-note away minor third. So if I see that shape, I'm like, okay, that's a 3-note away minor third. Inverse, therefore, is 12 minus 3, or 9-note away major 6. And let's go to the last one. I'm wearing down here, which is going to be here, and that's going to be then the 7. So I think I have that fingered right. Yeah, that's going to be then the 7th, which is an 11-note away major 7. How can I get there? Because if I count from here to here, that would be 1 note away, which would be a minor 2nd. Or I can count 5, 10, 16, 17, 18, 18 minus, wait a sec, 18, 5, 10, 13, 14, 15. 15 minus 12 is 5 minus 2, 5, 4, 3. Hold on, I'm going brain dead here. This would be 5, 10, 13, 14, 15. 15 minus 12 is 5 minus 2, which would be 3. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my counting here. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 minus 12 is 3 minus 2, or 1. So that would be a 1-note away. This would be a 1-note away, which would be a minor 2nd. And the inverse, therefore, would be an 11-note away major 7. All right, I'm getting tired here. I was going to try to mess around with a song and see if I can kind of move the song, play it like an easy song, and then play it in open position, but then see if I can maybe play it with bar chords so I can change like the octave of the song or something. So I learned how to play one time, long time ago, Take It Easy, the Eagles song. Very not good. I don't know how to play it well, and I always forget the strumming pattern, but it goes something like, and I always shouldn't be, like I used to play with just my fingers, so it's a little lighter sound, so I don't play so heavy, and I'm trying to mute the strings a little bit if I was to sing over it or something, but I have problems with that, so I'll mess with it. Almost heaven. Wait, no, that's the wrong song. Well, I was doing the Eagles. Take It Easy. Let's do this one. I forgot how to play it. For the one man, to the one still man, once that she's a friend of mine. I tried to look this up in ChatGTP. I don't think they're giving me the right chords. That don't look right. ChatGTP, you're giving me the wrong stuff. Let me see it. This is how I remember playing it. Running down the road, trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. For the one I hold mad, to the one still mad, once that she's a friend of mine. Something like that. Take it easy. that pattern, like I'm not really, so this is where that guy's right with the metronome thing. I'm not, obviously, I've heard people play this and it sounds great, just perfectly not moving that strumming pattern at all, but I tend to wonk it out a little bit, and I can't really help it because I don't. So I'm gonna try to play a little different. So let me see what I can do. Let me try it again. Run down the road trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. For the one I hold mad, to the one I still mad. One says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try and understand. Just find that place to make your stand. Take it easy. Driving down the road trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. For the one I hold mad, to the one I still mad. One says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try and understand. Just find that place to make your stand. Take it easy. Anyway, what's the next verse? ChatGTP is not giving me the right chords. Just to warn you people. I thought, well, I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Poor guy's got 7 women on his mind. 1 woman will drive you crazy. 7 women, this guy's in trouble. I'm just kidding. This guy's in trouble, man. He's got some problems. All right, anyway, we're gonna... Standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. Girl, my load in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Standing in a corner of Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. See, that little switch up is a little wonky. See, that's where I mess up my metronome. I mess up my timing right there. It's actually a little tricky, I feel like. Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. Girl, my load in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to take a look at me. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Wait, that's not the right chord. Oh, it says, come on, babe, don't say babe. I got a name in your sweet love. Okay, I remember how it goes. Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. Girl, my load in a flatbed full of slowing down and take a look at me. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't like the sound of your own wheels make you go. Alright, wait a sec, I switched again. Oh, so it goes, come on, man, don't say man. Slowing down the corner, sitting on the corner, Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. Oh man, I can't see all the lyrics on one screen. It's a girl, my load, in a flatbed float, slowing down and take a look at me. Come on, babe. Come on, babe. Don't say. Let me try the first chorus again. Driving down the road, losing my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stone me. One says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Backing up while you still don't even try and understand. Just find a place to make your stand. So why can't I convert that here? Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. Girl, my load in a flatbed full, slowing down and take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I got to know that your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up by climbing and take it easy. Alright, let me try that second verse. Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. Girl, my load in a flatbed full, slowing down and take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. Got to know that your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose or we may win, but we'll never be here again. Open up my mind and take it easy. Alright, I'm gonna do the whole thing now. Driving down the road, trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that trying to hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. One says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Lighten up or you still can't go and try and understand. Just find a place to make your stand. I got to know that your sweet love is yours. Alright, I messed that one up again. I don't know. I thought I knew that a little bit better. I have to play with that one. I was going to try to move it up the neck, but I don't even think I can play it in the open position. Let me try. Let's go with my good old Hallelujah. That's the only one I know somewhat decently. Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? No, I do care. Tell me what the secret chord. Okay. It goes like this: the fourth, fifth, minor chord, the major lift, and the baffled king compose the hallelujah. Wait a second. You said there was only one chord that pleases the Lord. That was like 5 chords. I don't think they're even in the same key. Okay, look. It takes more than one chord to please the Lord, okay? But the point is the Lord likes his music. That's the point. You're missing the point of it. And that's why we say hallelujah. 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 What's the next verse? I know that one. Faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. The beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. But she found you in the kitchen chair, broke your throne and cut your hand. She did a hallelujah. Samson is not the smartest of heroes. Has his hair cut off, tied to a chair, sapping him of his strength. But not to worry. His hair will grow back at least long enough to tear down this house of lies. That's what I'm talking about. Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. What's the next verse? I only know one other verse. Let's see. Ooh, what did I do? Go down. Oh, I see. This is the one I wanted. It's too large though. What if I shrink? Okay. Maybe there's a God above, for me all I've ever learned from love is how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. The way you do it is you hold your hand over your spleen to try to stop the blood from coming out from the person that outdrew you, and then you aim your gun with the other hand as best you can. Try to find a little justice in this cold, hard world. That's what I'm talking about. But it's not a crime that you're here tonight. Not some pilgrim that claims to see the light. It's a cold, cold, and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's try Country Road. See if ChatGTP gave me the right chords. I think I'll just play it in open position because I think it's easier to sing that way anyways. I don't know how the strumming pattern goes. I think you're supposed to alternate between the top and the second, but whatever. Something like that, I don't know. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Chateau River. Life is over, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing by the breeze. Country road, country road. See it, ChatGTP, you gave me the wrong chord. Country road, take me home to the place. Country road, take me home to the place I belong. Is that how it goes? Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. I can't even, I don't even know the chords, for crying out loud. What was it? Anyway. Let's take the Hallelujah song. And like, what if I tried to move it? Man, what I was gonna try to do is it goes almost heaven, West Virginia. Oh, no, it goes. Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. So what if I played that up like bar chords? It would be like here. Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? So that would be an F, which would be here. That would be an F major. You don't really care for music. And then a C, which would be, or maybe up here. So, let's try it this way. Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music. Well, it goes like this. A secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Goes like this, the fourth, the fifth. Goes like this, the fourth, the fifth. Minor chord, major lift, the baffled king compose. The Hallelujah. Let's try it this way. Heard, I'll try it with this A. This A. Heard there was a secret secret, and then this little C right here. See if that works. It's all inverted, so it's not going to sound. This works. Obviously, the song was designed off of that pattern, so it's going to sound wonky to play anything other than that, even though it's inverted chords. But let me. Heard there was a secret chord that David. Heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Do ya? Goes like this, the fourth, fifth, minor chord, major lift, baffled king, whoop, baffled king compose the hallelujah, hallelujah. Heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do well, it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, minor chord, the major, minor chord, the major lift, and the baffled king compose the hallelujah, hallelujah, Heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, there's a C, do ya? Goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, minor chord, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah. I don't know. Heard there was a secret chord. Heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really the fourth. Well, it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth. Minor chord, the major lift. Baffled king compose the hallelujah. Try it again. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Goes like this, the fourth, the fourth, the fifth. Minor chord, major lift. Baffled king compose the hallelujah. 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 Yeah. Let's try Almost Heaven one more time. Or Take It Easy. Alright, here we go. Almost Heaven. Wait, that's the wrong one. Running Down the Road. Running down the road, trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold mad, 2 that wanna still mad. 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own heels drive you crazy. Lighten up while you still can. Don't even try to listen. Just find a place to take your stand. Take it easy. So I'm thinking if I played that with less open chords, I might be able to sing over it without drowning it out with my picking. So what if I played it here? I get a little more action that I can mute it with my fingers. Well, running down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. I got running down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on running down the road, trying to loosen my load. 7 women on. There's a D, kind of. Mind. So on my mind. 7 women on my mind. Running down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold mad, 2 that wanna let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Driving down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold back, 2 that wanna still man, 1 says she need it. 4 that wanna hold back, 2 that wanna still man, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Then it goes easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Find a place to make your stand. Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. Alright, I think I have a rough draft of this. Driving down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold mad, 2 that wanna still mad. 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Don't let the sound of your own. Alright, let's try this again. Driving down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stone me. 1 says she. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stone me, and 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna sew me. 1 that she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Lighting up while you still don't even try to stay. Just find a place to make your stay. Driving down the road trying to loosen my load. Like 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. 1 that she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own make you crazy. You've got to. No, I forgot what happens. I make you crazy. Driving down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my. Driving down the road, I'm trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. 1 that she's a friend of mine. 4 that wanna hold me, 4 that 2 that wanna stow me. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. 1 that she's a friend of mine. Driving down the road, losing my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. 1 that she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Lighting up when you still can. Don't even try to understand. I forgot how it goes again. I'm getting tired. Anyway, I think I can. Let me try it one more time. Driving down the road, trying to loosen my load. 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stow me. 1 that she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Make you crazy. Lighting up when you still don't even try to understand. Just find a gonna get my rock and roll tour set up right here and now. I'll tell you